Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Thanks so much for listening. Today, the fight over tariffs, elephant trophies, and net neutrality. Plus, Facebook's mistake, Bumble's new policy, and The Bachelor. All that and much more in less than 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Tuesday, March 6th. You ready? Let's do this. More concerns about tariffs. You know President Trump's plan to put tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. The Wall Street Journal says some top Republicans came out against it even more yesterday. House Speaker Paul Ryan, for example, said it could trigger a trade war and that many lawmakers are extremely worried. They're asking the president not to go through with his plan. There's even apparently a warning letter going around that some Republican lawmakers are signing. But President Trump said, quote, "We're not backing down." He says the move will bring more U.S. jobs. So remember, this is the plan President Trump announced last week. He wants to put a 25% tariff on steel and a 10% tax on aluminum imports. And he originally said no country is exempt. But now he's saying Canada and Mexico could be exempt from this plan if they come up with a fair trade agreement, as in NAFTA, the North American Fair Trade Agreement. It's still being negotiated and has been for a while. Mexico and Canada are not pleased with this plan, though. Their leaders both said these are separate issues, and if the tariffs are put in place, they're going to retaliate. President Trump hasn't formalized the tariffs yet, but is expected to either this week or more likely next week. So, to be continued. There's an update to the elephant trophy imports issue. The Trump administration says elephant trophies will now be allowed into the U.S. from some African countries on a case-by-case basis. Remember, elephant trophies are parts of an elephant, like the head or the tusk, that hunters bring back home with them after killing an elephant. The Obama administration banned those imports. Then last year, the Trump administration decided to once again allow elephant trophies from a couple of African countries. Cue the public outcry. President Trump then said, wait a minute, let's reconsider, and put the whole thing on hold. Until now. The Hill reports the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will now review the possible impact of each permit and make a decision based on each application. And it also created a new council to study this issue and make recommendations. He used to work for President Trump. He was an advisor for the Trump campaign, but Sam Nunberg has said he'll refuse to cooperate with a federal investigation. Specifically, he went on several media outlets yesterday to say he'll fight a subpoena he got from special counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller is running that investigation into whether or not the Trump campaign or anyone else colluded with Russia before the 2016 election. Well, Nunberg fought back on live TV, like on CNN. And while he was at it, he insulted several people in the Trump administration. There have been questions about whether or not he was drunk. A CNN host even said she smelled alcohol on his breath. But he said not true. And now the AP says late last night, Nunberg finally backed off. He said he's angry, but that in the end, he will probably cooperate with the investigation. Either way, it's caused quite a stir in Washington. Washington state just got involved in the net neutrality fight. Wired reports Washington just became the first state to pass a law to try to protect net neutrality rules. So quick recap. Net neutrality means internet providers have to treat all websites and companies the same. So small and big company websites would load at the same speed without paying any extra. Some say it supports a fair and equal internet. Others say it's too much government control. And that last reason is why this year the FCC voted to get rid of net neutrality rules. So, does that decision on the federal level clash with this new state law in Washington? Legal experts told Wired magazine it's unclear, and we'll see if it goes to court. Stay tuned. All right, other things people may be talking about today. United Airlines just said, never mind. The airline was ready to replace the typical employee bonuses with a new lottery system. But the backlash may be changing those plans. ABC News reports United told workers that if they hit their goals, they'll be entered to win prizes like cars, vacations, and cash. The company said it would bring more excitement. And even though fewer employees get a bonus or prize, those who do would get more. It didn't go over well. Enough complaints came in that the plan is on pause. TBD on what happens now and if any company will try that lottery system again. Lyft is next in line to come up with a way to get people to the doctor. You might remember we just talked last week about Uber doing the same thing. Well, now CNBC says Lyft is teaming up with a company called Allscripts to let doctors and hospitals schedule rides for their patients. Lyft has had a concierge-type service before, but this new partnership means Lyft and Allscripts technology will work together. So it won't need someone to manually order the ride in that moment. Instead, as soon as patients schedule an appointment, it will ask if they need a ride. And if they say yes, they book it and boom, it's scheduled. This was unexpected. Facebook sent out a survey to some users with an odd question. And let me just say first, Facebook has already admitted this was a mistake. The Guardian reports a survey asked about how the company should handle certain behavior. And some people were asked how Facebook should handle a private message from an adult man asking a 14-year-old girl for sexual pictures. And here's the thing. None of the multiple choice answers gave any options for notifying law enforcement. So Facebook is now responding that that type of activity is not allowed. But the surveys are meant to understand how the community feels about their policies. Facebook also said, as for that particular question on the survey, yeah, that was a mistake. The dating app Bumble has a new policy. No guns or weapons in your profile pic. TechCrunch says it's one of dozens of companies now taking action to deal with the debate about gun laws. The Bumble founder said this isn't the company trying to take a political stance, but that it's about making sure violence is not normalized in dating, and that there will be exceptions. If you're a competitive sports shooter, for example, or active military or law enforcement, you may be able to get your photo restored. Bumble is even hiring thousands of workers to go through all the pictures. Speaking of dating, you may hear talk about the Bachelor finale. It was on last night, and as usual, it was dramatic. Let's just say the Bachelor proposed to one woman, then after the show, viewers watched him break up with that woman for the runner-up, and now he's with the one he originally dumped. Bachelor drama. Also in entertainment, the Oscars ratings were at an all-time low this year. The Hollywood Reporter says viewership was down 19% from 2016, with a total of 26.5 million viewers. The least watched Academy Awards in recent history. And that's it. You are ready to go. You can always read more about any of the stories we talked about today by heading over to thenewsworthy.com. From the homepage, just click episodes and then find today's date. Of course, if you get value out of this, I always appreciate it if you head on over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Let others know why you like it so they can give it a try as well. The Newsworthy is ready for you every weekday by 4 a.m. Eastern Time. So we'll chat again tomorrow. Have a great day.